It's 3:14 a.m. You're awake, not slowly, gently awake, fully awake. Heart already moving, eyes open in the dark. You reach for your phone. The screen hits your face like a flashbang. White light, blue light, a notification you don't care about. The time, glowing, accusing. You put it down.
You stare at the ceiling, and the thought creeps in, the one that always comes at this exact hour. Something is wrong with you.
You've read the articles, you've tried the supplements, you go to bed at the right time, you don't drink caffeine afternoon, you do everything they tell you to do, and you still wake up at 2, at 3, at 3:47. Every doctor calls it the same thing: insomnia.
A disorder, a malfunction in the machine. Here's what they never told you. Your sleep isn't broken. It never was. What you felt at 3 a.m., that sudden, inexplicable alertness in the middle of the night, that isn't your body failing.
That is a 300,000-year-old operating system booting up exactly on schedule.
Your biology didn't glitch. It remembered. For 99.9% of human history, the animal that didn't wake up in the middle of the night didn't make it to morning. It's that simple.
The leopard didn't announce itself.
The fire burned down to embers without anyone noticing. The perimeter of safety, roughly 30 feet of flickering orange light, went dark. And the humans who slept straight through that moment, they were eaten. The humans who woke up, you are their direct descendant. That alertness at 3 a.m. isn't anxiety.
It's inheritance.
It's the same signal that kept your great-great-great-grandmother alive on a cold savanna 100,000 years before the concept of a bedroom existed. The problem isn't that you're waking up.
The problem is that when you do, instead of silence and darkness and the slow, meditative quiet your ancestors used that window for, you're getting a phone screen at full brightness and a push notification from an app you downloaded 3 years ago.
Your ancient brain boots up, and modernity screams directly into its face. No wonder it feels like something is wrong, just not with you.
Before the light bulb, before the candle, before the torch, there was nothing. Not dim, not dark-ish, nothing. Absolute, suffocating, total blackness.
The kind of dark where you hold your hand 6 inches from your face and see no difference between your eyes being open or closed. That was every night for 300,000 years. Every single night of your species' entire existence until about 150 years ago looked exactly like that. Sunset didn't mean evening. It didn't mean wind down, relax, scroll through something before bed. It meant the world disappeared, and everything that wanted to kill you was still out there, still moving, still watching. Here's the thing about human eyes. They are genuinely terrible in the dark. Not, I need a minute to adjust terrible, catastrophically terrible. A leopard's eyes in complete darkness see roughly 7 times better than yours. A hyena's pupils open so wide they can track movement in near total blackness. Wolves navigate by starlight like it's afternoon. You cannot. You are, in the dark, the most helpless apex predator that has ever existed. No claws, no speed, no night vision, just soft skin and the terrifying awareness that something is out there and you cannot see it. This is the world your nervous system was built inside of. This is why it is still wired the way it is. The only thing standing between your ancestors and that darkness was a circle of fire, roughly 30 feet in diameter. That's the entire margin between life and death. Inside the orange light, the predators don't come. One step outside that circle, you don't come back. Anthropologists have documented this in modern hunter-gatherer communities.
People who wander beyond the firelight at night, even today, are significantly more likely to be killed. Not historically, not theoretically, today.
That circle wasn't comfort. That circle was the species. Now think about what happens to a fire if no one tends it. It gets smaller. The orange circle shrinks, 20 feet, 15, 10. The darkness pushes back in, and the things in the darkness get closer. The 3 a.m. wake-up wasn't random. It was a scheduled checkpoint, a biological alarm that evolution burned into every single human alive. Fire at this hour burns low. Perimeter needs checking. Listen to the dark. Is something moving? Is something breathing? Is the circle still holding?
The people who didn't have that alarm
Didn't wake up. didn't pass their genes forward, didn't become you. Every human being who has ever lived on this planet for the last 300,000 years carried this checkpoint in their blood. Every single one of your ancestors, every grandmother, every great-grandfather, every person in the unbroken chain stretching back to the first human fire woke in the middle of the night, listened, checked, survived, and then went back to sleep. That is not insomnia. That is the oldest alarm system on Earth, and it is still running inside you right now.
Here's what nobody told you in school.
The way you sleep right now, it's new, dangerously, unnaturally new.
For most of recorded human history, not ancient history, not cave history, but medieval history, Renaissance history, the world your great-great-grandparents actually lived in, nobody slept in one block, not a single person. The idea of laying down at 10 p.m. and waking up at 6 a.m. was as foreign to them as sleeping in a field is to you.
They slept in 2 shifts. First sleep, second sleep. A man named Roger Ekirch spent 16 years inside archives, old diaries, court records, medieval medical texts, letters written by ordinary people across 5 centuries. He wasn't looking for this.
He just kept finding it. Over 500 separate references, all of them describing the same thing. A world where people went to bed at dark, slept for 4 hours, then woke up. Not violently, not in panic, just awake, quietly, completely awake in the dead of the night.
They called it the watch, that hour or 2 hours between first sleep and second sleep. And they didn't lie there staring at the ceiling in anxiety. They didn't grab a screen. They didn't diagnose themselves. They thought. They prayed. They lay in the dark and simply existed in a state of consciousness that had no name.
It was just the middle of the night. It was just what the night was. Ekirch found a doctor's manual from the 1500s that advised patients to use the watch for their deepest studying and reflection. Not morning, not evening. The quiet dark between the 2 sleeps. That was when the mind was most clear. That was when the world was most still. Historians had been reading these references for centuries, and they kept mistranslating them
Because they couldn't conceive of a world where sleep worked differently than theirs. The assumption was so deep, so invisible, that scholars literally rewrote ancient Greek and medieval Latin to match their modern experience.
They deleted an entire phase of human existence from the historical record because it made no sense to them. Then came Thomas Wehr, a psychiatrist at the National Institute of Mental Health, 1992. He took a group of volunteers and removed artificial light from their lives entirely.
14 hours of darkness every night for a month. No instruction on how to sleep. No suggestion of any pattern, just darkness. And within weeks, every single volunteer did the same thing, without being told, without knowing about Ekirch, without any knowledge of first sleep or second sleep or the watch.
Their bodies just remembered 4 hours of sleep, 1 to 3 hours of quiet wakefulness,
4 more hours of sleep. Like a program buried so deep in the hardware that no amount of civilization had managed to fully overwrite it. But here is the part that should genuinely disturb you. Wehr measured their hormone levels during that middle window, and what he found in their blood wasn't the chemistry of wakefulness. It wasn't stress. It wasn't alertness. It wasn't the jagged cortisol-spiked state of someone lying awake with anxiety.
Their brains were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone your brain releases during deep meditation, the same hormone released after orgasm. A profound, whole-body chemical peace. They described it as unlike any state they'd ever experienced while awake.
calm without effort, stillness without sedation, a kind of consciousness that exists nowhere else in the human day. Not in the morning, not in the evening, not during any waking hour. Only there, only in the dark, only in that forgotten window between the 2 sleeps. That state is not a historical curiosity.
It is not something primitive people stumbled into before they knew better. It is a distinct, documented, biologically real phase of human consciousness. And for most people alive today, it doesn't exist anymore. You never feel it. You will never feel it. Because the moment your body tries to enter